One of the really big things I learned from our Impact Challenge is that a lot of these individuals wanted another chance and were there to help them get another chance, but many of them didn't have a first chance to begin with.
The most memorable thing of this experience was something one of the inmates told me. He told me about this mindset called stinking thinking, which is just the idea of belittling yourself when something difficult happens to you. Initially, going into this, I didn't think I would be able to relate much to some of the inmates because we have very different lives. But when he said this, it took me like 5 seconds to also relate and think of a time where I belittled myself and thought that I couldn't achieve one of my goals.
I think for me, this experience really helped put a kind of a name and a face behind all the statistics and stuff we were reading and researching before. I really got an opportunity to get to know some of the inmates and hear their stories and their backgrounds and understand the hardships that they had to face.
There are so many people willing to help, and the incarcerated individuals don't always realize that, and so it's really cool to be able to bridge that gap.
One of the most memorable moments for me was realizing how much potential some of these guys actually had. Two individuals I worked with, one was college educated and the other knew Visual Basic coding language. So it kind of shifted my mentality towards incarcerated individuals as a whole.
The biggest impact was when I was talking to one of the guys and he said, "You're not your charge." I just thought that was really important to kind of take into, for me, the corporate world. I'm going to hopefully be in a position where I have the ability to hire people down the line, and being able to take that into consideration and knowing that yes, they made a mistake in their past, but people grow and learn and change, and it's always important to keep that in mind in the long run.
So I very quickly realized that this was going to be so much more than a school project. At first, we all sort of treated it like there was one deadline and we worked as a team to complete that, and then it very quickly took over a lot more of our time and energy and thoughts. It honestly felt like we were running a startup nonprofit, which was an amazing experience, and we all learned immense amounts from it.
This experience as a volunteer really destigmatized the prison system for me. Before this, I'd had this mental divide. It was us and them, and what this made me realize was that anyone dealt those cards in those circumstances could have landed in the situation that these prisoners are, and so that really just destigmatized the prison system for me.
So it's been really neat to see the group of students that have been involved in starting this Resüme initiative, going into the Department of Corrections, working with folks who've had some challenges in their past. And well, first of all, it's extremely important that we see this work as something that's needed. With 53,000 people that are currently incarcerated, for them to have access to soft skills training, life skills training, etc., it's extremely important. And for the students to be able to embrace that challenge, a very ambitious project for sure, but they embraced it with all their hearts and all their minds and energy, and they put together some really cool curriculum, worked together as a team. I was able to participate in some of their team meetings and see the work that they were involved in.
Well, I think it's very important to have the tools necessary to start your career returning to society, because you want to have the best skill set in order to have the best production for yourself moving on, and being able to have participated in like a reintegration program that I graduated from during my incarceration. It gave me the keys that I needed to really just kind of have the upper hand and understand the drive and what it takes to have success here in society. And
throughout this project, John Rush has been a mentor as we develop our curriculum. By building that relationship, I actually reached out to him for a professional opportunity, and a few months ago I started working for him. So Clean Here Enterprises is basically a social enterprise that hires returning citizens from prison into cleaning and demolition services. Primarily my role is working with their entrepreneurship programming and microloaning, and this has been a very unique opportunity that I wouldn't have had otherwise without this impact challenge.
So I really think I was impacted by this project, just in the sense that I always thought of prisoners in a way that, they're kind of these dangerous, scary people, and really I kind of learned that they're just like us. They have just maybe not had the opportunities we have, went down the wrong path, didn't have family support, things like that, but they are people. And I think going forward in the future, I will definitely think differently about people who've been in prison before.